Hello, today I thought I would post a different type of video, one where I do a little bit more talking and philosophizing. It's about 3 o'clock on Wednesday, August 17th. It's in the mid-90s right now, but I hear a thunderstorm is coming off in the distance. You'll hear a rumble of thunder every now and then. But I thought I'd talk a little bit about the Southern Garden. I'm in the Gulf Coastal area of the United States, in Lower Alabama to be specific, a Zone 8B. And this was the first property that I actually bought on my own and was able to start a garden in. And prior to that, I had rented for quite a few years and always had balconies or some area outside. And so that's where I bought a lot of these ornaments, because I have an awful lot of ornaments and things for a little backyard, but I've found spots for all of them. And in any event, when I first came here, it's like, I want to do a southern garden. So I started reading up all I could on southern gardens and started visiting a lot of plantation homes in the New Orleans or just general Louisiana, some in Alabama. But basically started visiting a lot of these older homes. And they kind of all had something in common. And that was, for one, monkey grass, which is this stuff. Just about every one of these old homes had monkey grass. It is a member of the Liriope family. Another version of this, or type of this, is called lily turf, that has little blue flowers about this time of the year. I have some of that in the front. But this monkey grass spreads kind of like wildfire. I had some of it behind my garage, back in there, and when I first bought the property. And so I knew what it was, so I let it grow and turned it into border grass. Basically, it spreads pretty quickly. And this border grass here was the last that I planted. This was planted about 2 years ago, and it was just a single strand of monkey grass, and it has thickened out nicely. But in any event, that's something that all of these old southern gardens have. They usually have borders of monkey grass. They usually have clipped boxwoods. Every one that I saw had clipped boxwoods, either in hedges or in some kind of a shape. Camellias. They all had camellias. They all had azaleas. And aspidistra. Aspidistra is this, also known as cast iron plant. It's this stuff back in here. And let's see, what else did they have? Roses you saw occasionally, but for south, roses need intense looking after to keep them looking good. So in any event, I visited a bunch of these old plantation homes and kind of took a little bit from each one and put it in this backyard. And so I've took like little bits and pieces that I thought were quintessentially southern and put them in this yard. One of the things I did was bought this boiling pot. Oh, I see the animal was in there last night and moved my fountain. In any event, I copied that from one of the New Orleans plantation homes. It was from a sugar plantation. They had a big sugar boiling pot that they turned into a water garden. So in any event, that was what inspired me to start this southern style garden, and it's evolved through the years. Now I added the layer of palms and citrus. Occasionally you would see some of the older properties that had some palms. I never saw citrus. And in any event, that's how my backyard sort of evolved. And I kind of realized after a while, really in the last few years, that there's not a lot of color. And then it kind of dawned on me that from what I have seen of gardening shows, I love British gardening shows. My favorite, if y'all have never seen it, is called Gardener's World. You can see it on YouTube for free. Of course, if you join BritBox, you'll get it free. Well, you won't get it free. You'll have to pay to get it that way. But in any event, it's got 30 years of gardening expertise. Very good show. But one of the things I learned from watching them was that Italian gardens, at one time in the late 1800s, early 1900s, when the British aristocracy would want to go abroad for a year or two just to sort of see the world, called their Grand Tour, they fell in love with some of the gardens they saw in Italy, where there were ruins and a lot of evergreens and not very much color. And that's kind of because it's similar to my situation with these homes around here, the plantations. None of them are working plantations. They're now all basically just places you go to visit. And so they're not maintained as they would have been when people lived there. And if you watch some more of these gardening shows, especially for Italian gardens, you'll find out that years ago, of course, there was color in the Italian gardens, a lot of color. In fact, all the bleached white statuary that we see and associate with Roman sculptures used to be very brightly painted. So there was color in these gardens years ago, and it kind of dawned on me it's probably the same with these plantation homes around here, that they've kind of evolved to the present day state just from minimal maintenance. So in any event, that's my little take on the history of the southern garden and how this garden came to be. Oh, the only other thing I meant to mention is you see the Liriope down here. If you look it up, I thought Liriope was one of the muses, and it turns out it wasn't. She was the mother of Narcissus in Greek myth. She was actually a naiad. I don't know exactly what that was, but you can Google it. And that was her claim to fame, was the mother of Narcissus. And actually, Liriope means, from the Greek, mother of Narcissus. Go figure. So, that's it for today. I'll leave you with those musings and thoughts on this hot day, waiting for the afternoon thunderstorms. Have a good day. Bye-bye.